Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I am back with my review for the Walking Dead review for the Walking Dead Volume 28. So, I'm sorry guys, I am super sorry because of course, I was checking my channel a couple days ago. I actually realized I have not reviewed this volume or Volume 29 for The Walking Dead on this channel. I have not covered, both of them. You know, I've covered the single issues that have been released for them, but I haven't covered these specific ones. So, apologies for that. So, finally getting around to doing this review. So, this volume of The Walking Dead, man, is just such a cool volume, I think. This episode has probably one of the biggest deaths the Walking Dead comic book series ever has, which is, of course, the death of Andrea. And I think that this episode, or this volume really, I feel like, is one of the standouts because of the big death it has. And I feel like in the TV series, the death of Carl almost kind of resembles, comic Andrea's death. So anyway, major spoilers, even though I already kind of said something. But, I mean, I'm sure you don't care at this point, because the issue's been released for a while now. So, yeah, really cool stuff. So, let's take a look at this volume. So, of course, we start off this volume with the herd that gets to Alexandria. So, of course, you've got the others who Rick is freaking out, of course, telling Eugene to pretty much go outside of Alexandria. You've got Andrea and the others, and they go outside of Alexandria to try to stop the walkers. Of course, then they see the walkers right there, and it's just coming for Alexandria. So, of course, you've got Rick that says right here, "You heard Annie, here they come." And, of course, they have to kind of get ready. They got their guns out. And I love this page where the walkers show up, and they're just kind of, smashing through the walls. And then you pretty much get the scene right here where, you got Michonne and everybody else. They're outside of the walls, and they are just ready to go, pretty much. Meanwhile, you've got the gates right here, and the zombies. You see that? Like, they're just going, like, right through. They're just pretty much pushing through, and then boom, the gate goes down, and everyone get back. And of course, you've got the this big splash page right here with Negan, Rick, and everybody else just getting ready to fight their way out, pretty much. And then you get the death of Paula right here. So Paula is a character in the comics that is a while. She's around for a while. I wouldn't say she's around for too long though. And then of course you've got now throughout this volume we kind of see this: the Savior's planning, to attack and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of something. So of course in issue 166, Rick actually has to kill Sherry, which is definitely crazy. So then you get a sequence where Rick and Negan are actually stuck in this house together, and they pretty much just have a conversation between one another, and it's just really intense, I feel like. Rick still does not like Negan at all, especially for what he did to Glenn and all that kind of stuff. So the streets are just filled. You've got Andrea right here, and then of course, moving on around here, Negan kind of tries to get Rick on his side, which I do find kind of interesting, to be honest with you. Which, you could definitely say, Rick being on Negan's side. I understand if people hate that. If you're a big Glenn fan, you're probably not a big fan of Negan, being redeemed type of thing. I'm sure a lot of people might not be, but, that's pretty much what happens in this volume. So you, of course, get the zombies. Now, Andrea and the others are out there, and they kind of try to distract the walkers, and they just kind of fall into the lake right here, some of them. So I found that was pretty cool, pretty darn interesting. And, of course, you do get, the beginning of the Saviors, who, of course, Heath and all that kind of stuff. You got Dwight and the others. Of course, Dwight kind of gets choked right here, and it's a pretty intense scene. But the part that really freaks me out, and I'm sure a lot of people were in denial about it when they first read it, was that Andrea's actually bit right here. So that is a bite. A lot of people were debating, if she was dead or not. Well, obviously she's not killed, or she is bit, because, I mean, I mean, we know the danger of the walkers, and that's the thing. Her death, yeah, you could say it's just zombie bite. It's kind of a lame way to go out, because we've seen it so many times, but it kind of has the fear back into the comic, where you see just somebody get bit like that, a big character like that, and it's really, really insane. So, of course, you got Sherry, who wants to leave, and she is pretty much, I would say at this point, trying to kill Rick. I mean, you know, you have the sequence over here where, you know, she's, you know, she's, you know, throwing the table, and she's going to Rick, and Rick has no choice. Now, I know a lot, you know, Dwight looks at it as Rick, you know, killed her, but, you know, just kind of, you know, randomly. But, I mean, she pretty much asked for it. You know, she really did. And she, of course, gets killed in this volume. So, pretty crazy stuff right there. As if this couldn't get crazy enough, right after Rick's done killing Sherry, Andrea comes in, of course, and, you know, you got the scene where she tells Rick, and this is when it gets really sad. So, of course, then you get the beginning of 167, where you get the death of Andrea. Of course, you got her on the bed there. And, you know, I'm not going to say it in detail, because we've seen it in the issue, and I've reviewed it, and I've gone over it. But Rick has to put her down, and it's just absolutely, you know, crazy. But he can't pull the trigger. He can't. You know, Rick's even questioning about, you know, dying with her, and she says, no, you have to, you know, you can't. You know, you have to be out there with them. And of course, then Rick can't shoot her, and she turns, and then Rick has no choice but to, you know, he can't do it. He can't pull the trigger. And he has no choice but to kill zombified Andrea. So, that is that pretty much, and there she is, and that's the end of Andrea in the comics. Now, this splash page, you know, when you see everybody here, that's just amazing, you know, with everybody standing outside as Rick walks out, and, you know, absolutely can't believe that happened. Still, you know, when I read this, I still can't believe that she's actually dead. It's just so, like, insane, you know, but then, of course, you've got, Rick, who tells, you know, the rest of the Saviors that Sherry's dead, and not as if it got crazy enough, instead of Rick kind of dealing with the Saviors, Negan actually deals with the Saviors, which, you know, is really cool. You know, he even talks to some of his guys, you know, I burnt your face. Why do you want to be on my side, type of thing, right? And he smacks him right here. So, yeah, just absolutely love this version of Negan, where he's on Rick's side. He kind of, you know, he's sticking up for Rick pretty much. He's seeing Rick's side of things. And I think it's really interesting. So, of course, you know, this issue couldn't end, or volume couldn't end more sad than Rick at Andrea's grave right there at the end. So you got them two right here, of course, as well. So, absolutely insane volume. One of the craziest volumes we've ever seen for The Walking Dead, I would have to say. Crazy. Just crazy. So, Volume 29 review will be coming, because I'm sorry, of course, I didn't notice I actually didn't review both of them. So, anyway, guys, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.